Have you ever walked into your own space, your home, and instead of feeling calm, clear, ready to create, or simply relax, you're hit with this subtle wave of anxiety, a quiet hum of overwhelm?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the overflowing laundry basket that's been there for days, the stack of unread books threatening to topple, the elusive matching lid for your Tupperware, or, those gadgets you bought for a hobby you never quite started. What if we told you that the physical stuff around you isn't just taking up space, that it's actively stealing your focus, draining your energy, and subtly blocking your path to joy? It's not really about being inherently disorganized, is it? It might just be about having too much to constantly manage. What if that feeling of overwhelm isn't a personal failing, but, well, a direct consequence of simply having an overwhelming amount of stuff?
It's truly fascinating, isn't it, how often a cluttered physical space so accurately mirrors a cluttered mental landscape. The two are intrinsically linked, almost like a feedback loop. And recognizing that connection, that intimate relationship between your outer world and your inner state, is actually the very first and maybe the most profound step towards a significant shift in your well-being.
Precisely. And that's exactly what we're embarking on today. We're taking a deep dive into the surprising, profound, and yes, often wonderfully addictive happiness found in decluttering. This isn't just about tidying up. It's a powerful, direct shortcut to a clearer mind, dramatically reduced stress levels, and ultimately more wide-open space for what genuinely brings you joy.
Right.
We're going to peel back the layers, uncover the compelling scientific backing, share some truly inspiring personal transformations, and equip you with incredibly actionable strategies to get you started, no matter how daunting or impossible it might feel right now.
Yeah, let's jump in.
So let's begin this journey. When we look around our homes, it's easy to dismiss clutter as, just an annoyance, right? Maybe it's that perpetually overflowing chair where clothes pile up, or the drawer that steadfastly refuses to close.
We've all been there.
But what if it's far more insidious than just a visual nuisance? What if this physical mess is actually an invisible but very real weight, like a serious roadblock to getting anything meaningful done? It's not just a feeling. Researchers at the Princeton University Neuroscience Institute have definitively found that clutter directly, tangibly affects our ability to focus and be productive.
Right.
It's not just an inconvenience, it's actively diminishing our cognitive capacity.
That's a critical point, and the science behind it is quite compelling. The Princeton researchers used fMRI scans to observe brain activity, and what they discovered was, well, revelatory.
Okay.
When subjects were presented with a cluttered visual field, their visual cortex, the part of the brain responsible for processing everything we see, became overstimulated. Think of it as a constant, low-level neural noise. This noise makes it significantly harder for your brain to filter out distractions and truly home in on a single task.
Like having too many tabs open on your computer.
Exactly. It's like having dozens of irrelevant tabs open in your mental browser, constantly draining your processing power, leaving less bandwidth for creativity, problem solving, or sustained attention.
Okay.
That subtle tension you feel when surrounded by mess. That's your brain working overtime, trying to make sense of the chaos, and it's exhausting.
Yeah, I can feel that.
And this isn't just anecdotal. A University of Connecticut study further corroborated this, demonstrating that actively controlling clutter directly reduces perceived stress.
Really?
Yeah, participants in their studies reported significant drops in anxiety, leading to greater happiness and a noticeable boost in self-confidence.
Wow.
And these benefits often correlate with physiological changes, like lower levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. It's a profound, tangible link between your external environment and your internal well-being.
That's huge.
Which raises an important question for you, the listener. What exactly is clutter, if it's more than just the stuff lying on the floor? Peter Walsh, a renowned organizing expert, defines it with striking simplicity and power. Anything that gets between you and the life you want to be living.
Ooh, I like that. Anything that gets between you and the life you want to be living.
Think about that for a moment. It immediately shifts your perspective from a purely physical problem to a deeply personal one, doesn't it?
It really does. That reframing is incredibly powerful. And it brings us right to this essential concept we like to call the inventory mindset. Consider this. Every single item in your home, from that half-used can of beans in the pantry to the bed you sleep on, is something you have to manage.
Right.
It demands a piece of your attention, a slice of your mental energy, whether you consciously realize it or not.
And that's precisely where the unseen work, the hidden cognitive load, truly manifests. Let's take a seemingly innocuous example.
Yeah.
A single piece of clothing. You buy it, yes, but then the life cycle of that item begins. You have to wash it, dry it, fold it, put it away, and then most crucially, remember to wear it so it doesn't just sit there, forgotten and unworn.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Now, multiply that by all the shirts, pants, sweaters, and accessories in your wardrobe. Suddenly, you can vividly see how quickly your precious hours disappear just managing wardrobe inventory, let alone every other category of item in your home.
It adds up fast.
It really does. And this isn't about blaming you for being messy or disorganized. Often, it's about simply having too much inventory to realistically manage within the confines of your time and mental capacity.
Right.
This overabundance inevitably leads to forgotten items. The dreaded decision fatigue every morning when you stare at a full closet but feel like you have nothing to wear.
Ugh, yes. The worst.
And a constant low-level hum of background stress. The key filter, once you adopt this inventory mindset, becomes incredibly clear. Do I want to manage and inventory this item any longer?
That's a powerful question.
It's a powerful, almost liberating question that shifts your perspective from mere passive ownership to active, intentional management. I recently heard an anecdote about a woman who had a profound aha moment.
Yeah.
When she realized every single thing in her home was, in essence, inventory that she had to constantly manage, clean, organize, repair, or store. This sudden clarity completely transformed her perspective, making the decision to let go of items much, much easier.
Wow.
She wasn't just getting rid of things, she was shedding responsibilities.
That concept of inventory really is a game changer. It shifts your thinking from just owning stuff to actively managing stuff.
Exactly.
And when you genuinely grasp the mental and physical load of managing too much inventory, that's precisely where the solution starts to crystallize. Minimalism.
Right.
Now, when some people hear minimalism, they might conjure images of living in an empty, austere white box or a sense of deprivation. But that's a common misconception, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's so crucial to clarify that.
It's far from that. It's actually defined as a tool to rid yourself of life's excess in favor of focusing on what's important so you can find happiness, fulfillment, and freedom.
Exactly. Minimalism isn't about how little you own or counting possessions. It's fundamentally about owning what truly deeply serves you and nothing more. It's about cultivating radical intentionality.
Intentionality, I like that.
The core shift is from a default of accumulation to a mindset of discerning value. This new filter, simply asking, do I use this or will I genuinely use this in the next 6 months, can be incredibly illuminating.
Just 6 months. That's a tight time frame.
It can be, but it forces honesty. We've seen in real-life examples how people who adopt this intentional questioning can shed a significant portion of their physical possessions. In one striking case, someone applying this mindset was able to remove a staggering 2/3 of the physical items from their home.
2/3. Wow.
Imagine the immediate physical and mental space that creates. It's about creating ample room, not for emptiness, but for what truly matters most to you, your relationships, your passions, your experiences, your peace of mind.
It's easy to talk about these profound concepts in theory, but hearing real-life stories makes them so much more impactful, so much more relatable.
Absolutely. Stories connect.
One story that genuinely stands out is that of Erin Perkins. She was a young mother, describing herself as feeling overwhelmed every single second of every single day.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Can you truly imagine that constant crushing state of stress, that pervasive mental exhaustion? But then by chance, she heard about minimalism at just the right time, and in her own powerful words, she embraced it like a life raft.
Like a life raft, that's powerful imagery.
She embarked on this journey and transformed herself from that stressed out, perpetually overwhelmed mom to a truly present one.
Her story is incredibly inspiring because it vividly illustrates how decluttering frees up not just physical space, but also precious financial resources and, most crucially, your time.
Time, yes, that's the big one.
Time that can then be reallocated to what truly matters, your family, your passions, enriching experiences. For Erin's family, the shift was profound. Instead of falling into the trap of buying more toys that would just end up at the bottom of a neglected toy box.
The toy graveyard.
Right. They intentionally shifted their focus. For her son's 3rd birthday, for instance, they didn't buy another plastic gadget. They signed him up for swimming lessons, an experience.
Oh, that's lovely. building skills, making memories.
Exactly. And for a potty training success gift, they opted for a zoo excursion Groupon again, choosing a shared adventure over another piece of plastic clutter.
Smart.
They even made a significant, impactful change to their household budget and lifestyle by canceling cable TV, saving $100 a month, and redirecting that money.
$100. Just like that.
These are concrete, powerful examples of how intentional decluttering allows you to invest deeply in experiences over mere possessions, leading to a richer, more engaged, and significantly more present life.
It's not about sacrifice then.
Not at all. It's about strategic reallocation of resources towards deeper fulfillment.
I love how that connects so directly to the practical side of valuing experiences over things, rather than just talking about it in abstract terms.
Right.
And speaking of valuing things, or rather, discerning what you truly value, that brings us directly to the widely known KonMari method.
Ah, yes, Marie Kondo.
Now, for some, the idea of asking if each item sparks joy might sound a little,
A little corny.
yeah, maybe a little corny or overly sentimental. But what's often missed is its profound effectiveness. It's not just a quirky phrase, is it?
Not at all. It grants you explicit psychological permission to let go of items that no longer serve you by offering a moment of gratitude to the item for its past purpose.
Thanking the item.
Yes. It's an incredibly effective way to alleviate that nagging guilt many of us feel when parting with possessions, transforming a potentially painful decision into one of grateful release.
That makes so much sense, dealing with the guilt.
Yes, that method is brilliant precisely for its psychological impact. It reframes the act of letting go from a loss into an act of appreciation and intentionality.
Go.
And beyond just feeling good about what you choose to keep, what's truly remarkable is how many people report that their minds actually begin to heal during the decluttering process.
Heal, wow.
Yeah, a profound sense of happiness, a lightness genuinely emerges. It's not just about tidying, it's about a deep, often subconscious emotional release. We see this echoed in countless personal accounts, often shared in online communities where people are going through similar transformations.
It's true. There are some incredibly compelling anecdotes shared online that perfectly illustrate this emotional healing. For instance, one user on Reddit shared a deeply personal experience.
Oh, yeah?
They had been absolutely dreading the task, but found that going through a lifetime of family photos after their parents passed was unexpectedly cathartic.
Wow, I can imagine. That's tough stuff.
They described how it provided great memories and brought a sense of peace, giving immense hope to others who might be facing similar emotionally charged tasks with dread.
That's beautiful, actually. Finding connection in the letting go.
And another user shared a more practical but equally powerful story about sending unwanted art supplies, items that might have sat in a cupboard collecting dust for years, to someone who actively sought them out.
Oh, that's great. A win-win.
Right. They described it as a much more inspiring way to examine my stash, transforming a potentially guilt-ridden process of discarding to one of generosity, connection, and knowing the items would be truly used and appreciated.
What's truly fascinating here is how these experiences highlight that decluttering isn't just a chore to be endured. It's a profound gift and respect for future you.
A gift to future me. I like that.
You're actively clearing mental and physical space, which paves the way for greater clarity, ease, and reduced friction in your life later on. In fact, many people find it can even become addictive.
Addictive.
Really. But in the best possible way, because of the profound positive feelings and immense mental freedom it generates. When you clear a space, you experience immediate relief, a burst of mental clarity.
Okay.
That sense of accomplishment triggers a dopamine response in your brain, essentially rewarding you for the effort.
The brain chemistry.
Exactly. This makes you seek out that feeling again, creating a virtuous cycle where decluttering becomes its own reward, propelling you forward into deeper levels of transformation. Once you experience that lightness, that surge of calm, you genuinely want more of it. It becomes self-reinforcing.
Makes sense. You get that hit of satisfaction. Okay, so we've delved into the problem, the invisible mental weight of clutter, and how intentional living through concepts like minimalism can be a powerful solution. But let's be absolutely honest. The very thought of decluttering can still feel utterly paralyzing. That initial overwhelm, the sheer frustration of not knowing where to begin, or even underlying conditions like ADHD or OCD can make it feel impossible to even start.
Oh, absolutely. The starting point is often the hardest part.
It's like standing at the base of a colossal mountain, looking up and thinking, how on earth do I even begin to climb this? I know for me that feeling of perfectionism often stops me before I even take the first step.
You've hit on a crucial point that so many people relate to. The key to overcoming this paralysis is to completely shift away from the daunting idea of perfection and instead wholeheartedly embrace what we call the 5 minutes matters mindset.
5 minutes matters.
Okay. The goal here is absolutely not to declutter your entire house in one monumental weekend. That's a recipe for burnout and frustration.
Been there, done that. Failed miserably.
Exactly. The true sustainable goal is simply progress, not instant perfection. Even dedicating just 5 minutes can spark a powerful surge of motivation and begin to build unstoppable momentum.
It's 5 minutes.
Just 5. If you find yourself working for 10 or 15 minutes, that's fantastic. That's a bonus. The fundamental principle is staying in the game and consistently seeing measurable progress, no matter how small or incremental it feels. This immediately makes decluttering feel less daunting, less like a monumental chore, and far more achievable. This raises an important question for you, the listener, and for us, frankly. How many times have you been tempted to scroll aimlessly through social media
Guilty.
or get lost in a stream of content when you could have spent just 5 minutes making a real tangible difference in your physical space and by direct extension, your mental clarity?
Ouch. Good point.
Those small, seemingly insignificant bursts of effort accumulate into truly significant, lasting change over time.
That's such a practical and genuinely powerful tip. 5 minutes matters. I think every single one of us can find 5 minutes, even on our busiest days.
Absolutely.
And once you experience those tiny wins, that momentum begins to build a powerful sense of confidence. Now let's talk about some strategic tools for those really tough decisions, especially for those ambiguous items, the ones you're genuinely unsure about.
The maybe someday pile.
Exactly. You know, I might need this someday, items that seem to multiply in our closets and cupboards. This is precisely where the incredibly effective time will tell bin comes in.
The time will tell bin is, in my experience, one of the most underestimated yet profoundly effective tools in the decluttering toolkit.
Okay, tell me more.
Instead of holding on to those just-in-case items indefinitely, allowing them to linger and create mental friction, you consciously choose to place them in a designated bin.
A specific bin.
Yes. Here's a quick actionable breakdown of how it works. First, select a suitable container. A simple cardboard box or a plastic bin you already have will work perfectly.
Got it.
Second, carefully place any items you're truly not confident on donating or discarding into it. Third, and this step is absolutely critical, clearly label the bin with the current date, including the year.
Date it. Crucial.
Yes, and then store it away, ideally out of sight but still accessible. Fourth, make a calendar reminder to revisit this bin in 3 to 6 months.
Okay, set a reminder.
The immense power here lies in the peace of mind it provides. If you haven't retrieved the item from that bin within that predetermined time frame, it is almost certainly ready to be donated or discarded without guilt.
So time really does tell.
Exactly. This process liberates you from the agonizing indecision and mental burden of holding on to things you might never use, directly addressing those common nagging questions like, should I save it just in case? Or what if someone I know wants it?
Right.
It's a temporary holding zone that gives you undeniable data on your actual usage, not your hypothetical future usage.
That's brilliant because it completely removes the immediate pressure and lets time, real-world data, make the decision for you, which is so much less emotionally draining.
Precisely.
And for items with deep sentimental value, which can often be the single hardest category to part with, there's another absolutely crucial tool, the memory box.
Yes, the memory box.
Yeah.
So important.
This is a dedicated, carefully chosen space for things like old greeting cards, cherished notes, precious family pictures, significant awards, children's early artwork, or handmade jewelry.
The memory box accomplishes 2 incredibly important goals. First, and practically, it gives a proper dedicated home to those truly unique, sentimental things that often end up floating around your house, causing little pockets of clutter and anxiety.
Yeah, those little piles everywhere.
Exactly. Second, and more profoundly, it helps you curate a carefully selected collection of memories that you will genuinely revisit, enjoy, and cherish. Crucially, it sets boundaries for sentimental items.
Boundaries. That's key.
You simply cannot keep every single memento from a lifetime. That would defeat the purpose and recreate clutter, but you can keep the most special, most meaningful pieces.
Right. Curate it.
Each household member can have their own memory box, and you can even categorize them by periods or ages if you're particularly sentimental or have a vast collection. This directly connects back to that cathartic experience of decluttering photos we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
It allows you to sift through memories in a controlled, joyful, and emotionally fulfilling way, rather than feeling completely overwhelmed by them. It's about honoring the memory, not the object.
Honoring the memory, not the object. Love that. Speaking of guilt, that's another colossal hurdle in decluttering, especially when it comes to things we've actually bought but simply don't use.
The buyer's remorse clutter.
Totally. We often cling to them because we feel genuinely bad, guilty about the money we spent. That's precisely where the guilt-free timer concept comes in. The core truth is we all make buying mistakes. It's an inevitable part of life, and it happens.
It does. We're human.
But keeping that item, letting it sit there unused, doesn't magically right the financial wrong. It often compounds it by adding mental clutter.
This is a core psychological insight that, once truly embraced, can be incredibly liberating. Think about those incredibly relatable examples we all have. Perhaps it's that Mrs. Meyer's geranium cleaner that sounded lovely, but in practice made your entire house stink.
Ugh, I've had those.
And you just wanted to get rid of it. Or maybe it's those super cute Lucky Brand suede boots that looked amazing on the shelf, but after 15 minutes of wear became excruciatingly uncomfortable.
Oh, the painful shoes, yes.
Holding on to those items doesn't magically make the initial purchase a good one. In fact, it often hinders your progress. This entire process of decluttering is, in many ways, an act of profound self-discovery. You're learning what you genuinely use, what brings you joy, what truly serves your life versus what you hoped you'd use. This is often tied directly to what's widely known as your fantasy self.
Your fantasy self.
Right.
The person who uses that pasta maker every week.
Exactly. That aspirational person you imagine yourself to be who might suddenly become an expert baker or take up 10 new exciting hobbies. If you bought specialized equipment or supplies for a new hobby you never quite pursued, that item sitting there isn't just taking up space.
Yeah.
It can actually generate persistent frustration, sadness, or outright guilt. It becomes a silent, constant reminder of an unfulfilled aspiration or money potentially wasted.
Wow, that's heavy.
Which raises an important, deeply personal question. Why continue to hold on to things that serve no practical purpose other than to constantly remind you of money lost, unfulfilled dreams, or aspirations that simply didn't materialize?
Good question.
The core principle here is profoundly simple, yet immensely powerful. If it isn't a definite yes, then it's an absolute and no.
Definite yes or absolute no. Clear cut.
Encourage yourself to only keep what you genuinely use regularly, what genuinely brings you joy, or what actively supports the life you're living right now. This simple shift frees up so much mental bandwidth that was previously tied up in managing maybe someday items, allowing you to reallocate that energy to things that truly matter.
That's so true. Your home should genuinely feel good, a sanctuary that supports your present self.
Yeah.
It absolutely shouldn't feel like a museum of well-intentioned but consistently unused items.
Exactly.
And that goes especially emphatically for gifts. Say, a firm no to guilty clutter received as presents.
Oh, the gift guilt is real.
The sentiment was in the giving, in the thoughtful gesture, not in your perpetual obligation to store and maintain an item that doesn't bring you joy or serve a purpose. It's perfectly okay to let it go.
Permission granted.
Now let's take all these powerful principles, the illuminating idea of inventory, the liberating time will tell bin, the vital concept of setting boundaries, and the freedom of letting go of guilt, and apply them with laser focus to a real-world, highly relatable space.
Okay, where are we going?
We're going to dive deep into the kitchen.
Ah, the heart of the home, and often the clutter capital.
Exactly. Why the kitchen, you ask? Because it's often the central hub of the home, a notorious clutter catcher, and a place where items accumulate with astonishing speed. It's a perfect microcosm for applying all these transformative decluttering principles we've discussed, allowing you to see immediate, tangible results.
It absolutely is the perfect starting point. And let's begin with one of the most common culprits. Pots and pans.
Oh yeah.
Stacks. Have you ever truly objectively noticed how many you have versus how many you actually consistently use? It's often a shocking disparity.
I'm almost afraid to look.
A survey of 350 people found the most common answer for regularly used pots and pans was a surprising 5.
Just 5.
Just 5. Despite many respondents admitting to owning upwards of 24 pieces, that's a colossal difference between what we own and what we actually need to function day to day.
24. Wow. Okay, so 5 is the magic number for many.
It seems to be a common reality. The process for decluttering these is surprisingly simple yet incredibly effective. First, gather all your pots, pans, even your Dutch ovens or cast iron skillets, everything, and bring them to a central location, maybe your kitchen counter.
Okay, getting all out.
Then, beginning with your absolute favorite and most consistently used pieces, place one pot or pan on each burner of your stove or cooktop.
Physically put them on the stove.
Yes, literally reflecting your actual concurrent usage. If you genuinely use more, you can allow 1 or 2 extra on the counter, but be honest with yourself.
Be honest. Okay.
All the rest. Those go directly into your donation box, or, if you're still feeling a whisper of uncertainty, into your designated time will tell bin.
Ah, the bin again. Useful.
This method fundamentally challenges the ingrained notion that you need to keep full sets if you're only truly using a handful of pieces.
That's such a practical, visual way to gauge actual active use. But what about the common concerns that immediately pop up?
Like what?
Like, what if a spouse or another household member does most of the cooking? Do you involve them in this deeply personal process?
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial.
Or what about holidays, when you might genuinely need more cooking vessels and those rogue extra lids that never seem to fit anything? What do we do with those?
These are excellent, incredibly common questions, and addressing them is key to successful decluttering. If your spouse or another member of your household is the primary chef, they should absolutely, unequivocally be involved in the selection process.
Okay, involve the chef.
Frame it as an experiment, reassuring them that any unselected items will be safe in the time will tell bin and can be retrieved if truly, absolutely needed for a specific recipe or occasion.
So it's not gone forever immediately.
Exactly, reduces the fear. As for holidays, I would gently challenge you to try just one holiday with your newly limited, intentionally curated set of pots and pans. You might be genuinely surprised to discover that you never actually reach for those extras you thought were indispensable.
A holiday challenge.
The time will tell bin is perfect for this test too. And yes, absolutely, donation centers do gladly take stray lids.
They do. Good to know.
So please don't feel a shred of guilt about letting go of those orphaned tops. They can find a new home. It is 100% acceptable to break up sets and donate the pieces you aren't using.
Okay, permission to break up sets.
Your grandmother's beautiful but rarely used casserole dish. It's okay if it finds a new life. And a practical tip for those with physical difficulties or mobility challenges. If bending over to access lower cabinets is a struggle, consider storing your most frequently used pots and pans in a pantry on a shelf you can easily reach, even if it means strategically relocating other items.
Make it accessible.
The goal is ease of access and use.
Moving on to dishes, glasses, cups, and mugs. This is another area where an often unnoticed overabundance leads to that perpetual, ever-growing stack of dirty dishes next to the sink.
The leaning tower of dishes.
It feels like a never-ending cycle, doesn't it? A constant visual reminder of something undone.
It is indeed a cycle that zaps your energy. The primary goal here is to determine a truly realistic number you need to dramatically minimize your inventory.
Fewer dishes, fewer piles.
Exactly. This directly translates to fewer dishes piling up and significantly less time and mental effort spent on cleanup. Many people find that paring down to just 2 place settings per person in their household functions incredibly well.
2 per person.
Okay. However, if that constant stack of dirty dishes is a major, persistent problem for you, or if you don't have the luxury of a dishwasher, you might even want to experiment with having just 1 place setting and 2 drinking cups per person.
Just 1. Wow, that's hardcore.
It sounds extreme, but in my own household, we've adopted this approach, and it truly forces us to stay on top of the dishes, resulting in a consistently cleaner, more inviting kitchen overall.
Forces the habit.
It does. The process is straightforward. First, gather all your dishes, glasses, cups, and mugs from every corner of your home and bring them into the kitchen.
The Great Dish Roundup.
Then, based on your household size and an honest assessment of how frequently you wash dishes, determine your realistic optimal number. Select your absolute favorites, the ones you genuinely love to use, and then part with the rest, either by donating or utilizing that wonderfully liberating time will tell bin.
Okay, favorites first, rest go. What about guests? Do you just make them eat off paper plates, or do you have to scramble to find extra dishes?
Good question.
And what about those sentimental mugs? The ones tied to special memories? that you simply can't bear to part with, even if they're rarely used.
For guests, you absolutely have elegant options beyond paper plates. You can either keep an extra place setting or two for regular casual guests, or for less frequent or larger gatherings, consider creating a dedicated company bin of dishes and glassware.
A company bin.
Yeah, stored neatly in another location, perhaps a basement or a garage cabinet. That way, they're out of sight until truly needed.
Okay, out of the way.
For those truly sentimental mugs, it's crucial to apply the memory box principle and set clear, firm boundaries. We often make the mistake of assuming all sentimental items are equally meaningful, but they're not.
Right. Prioritize.
Decide on a physical boundary, like a specific upper shelf in one cabinet or even a section of your memory box, then carefully curate your collection, keeping only the most special pieces that genuinely evoke strong, positive memories.
Set the limit.
And to address the common concern about doing dishes all the time with fewer items, yes, you will likely do dishes more frequently, but the profound truth is it will take significantly less time per wash because the piles are smaller, less intimidating, and far more manageable.
Smaller loads, faster washing, makes sense.
This fundamentally reduces procrastination and makes the entire kitchen feel lighter and more organized.
Okay, now for what feels like a universal struggle. Food storage containers.
Oh boy. The Tupperware avalanche?
Mismatched lids, containers without lids, lids without containers. It's a chaotic, exasperating mess in that one cabinet, isn't it? It's a daily battle for many.
It is indeed a constant source of frustration and wasted time. The single most important step here is to define a clear, non-negotiable boundary for these items.
A boundary, like a specific drawer.
Exactly. This could be a specific cabinet, a single drawer, or even a dedicated organizing bin. The ultimate goal is to have fewer, primarily matching containers.
Matching. The dream.
This seemingly small shift will save you immense time and eliminate the daily frustration of endlessly searching for the right lid. If a container or lid doesn't comfortably fit within that defined boundary, if it's overflowing, it's time to let it go. It's a clear visual cue for when you have too much.
If it doesn't fit, it must be donated.
You got it.
Next up, bakeware, mixing bowls and serving dishes. We often accumulate so many of these, often underestimating how few we actually need, leading to crowded cupboards and forgotten items that only see the light of day once a year, if that.
Absolutely. The Thanksgiving platter collection.
Right. The most practical and effective approach here is to envision your biggest annual event or holiday, perhaps Thanksgiving, Christmas, or a major family gathering.
Okay, picture the big meal.
What specific baking dishes, mixing bowls, and serving dishes do you actually use for that monumental meal? Set them all out, take a picture for future reference.
Ooh, a photo inventory. Smart.
That photo becomes your curated inventory of essential items. And then, with that visual guide, let go of the rest, either to donation or, for those truly uncertain pieces, into the time will tell bin.
Use the real event as the filter.
This method powerfully applies the real-world use principle, rather than keeping things for hypothetical scenarios that may never materialize. This also addresses questions like, what if my kitchen is tiny? How do I store it all?
Right. Small space challenges.
By focusing on what you truly need, you've already determined your minimum viable set. Now, look for other items in your kitchen that can be moved to make space, perhaps utilizing vertical space with wall-mounted racks or hooks on cupboard doors.
Go vertical.
And for those tough emotional decisions, like inherited grandma's serving dishes that you don't actually use, first offer them to a family member who might genuinely cherish and use them.
Pass it on if possible.
If no one takes them, donate them without a shred of guilt. Your home is a living, functional space, not a dusty museum of inherited items. Honor your living space.
Honor your living space. Well said.
Clear countertops. There's something so incredibly visually impactful about them. They immediately signal mental clarity, a sense of calm, and an invitation to productivity, don't they?
They really do. It's like a deep breath for your kitchen.
But achieving that can feel like a monumental task when every inch is covered in various items.
It can feel daunting, but the actionable steps here are quite simple and can be done in focused bursts. First, a swift trash and tidy, clear dirty dishes, toss any trash, put all food items away, and gather any stray papers.
Basic clean sweep first.
Second, clear everything off your counters entirely, finding designated homes for items in cabinets, drawers, or donation boxes. For example, knife blocks.
They take up space.
Can go into a drawer with a knife organizer or be mounted on a magnetic strip on the wall. Toasters can be stored in a bin for easy pullout. Vitamins and medications can go into a contained bin in a cabinet for quick, organized retrieval.
Find homes for everything.
Third, and this is where you set your new boundary, allow yourself up to 3 carefully chosen exceptions for items that are truly used multiple times a day or are genuinely challenging to store elsewhere, like your coffee maker, an air fryer, or a stand mixer.
Only 3 exceptions. Okay.
The overarching goal is to move items like utensil caddies, dish racks, unless they're truly over the sink or utilize a drying mat, small appliances that aren't daily essentials, and purely decorative items off the precious counter space.
Get it off the counter.
For decorations, if space is limited, consider moving them up onto walls or higher shelves to free up that prime real estate. The visual spaciousness alone will feel incredibly liberating.
It's amazing how much difference that immediate visual change makes. And on the topic of things we use every single day but seem to accumulate endlessly, utensils and silverware.
Ah, the utensil jungle drawer.
There seems to be something almost addictive about having too many of these, doesn't there? You feel like you need a dozen spatulas, but do you really?
It's absolutely true. You use them daily, yet they can mysteriously multiply and take over every available drawer, making it impossible to find what you need. The process here involves first gathering all your silverware, cooking utensils, and various kitchen gadgets from every drawer and crock.
Another roundup.
Then evaluate their ideal, most efficient location, for instance, keeping cooking utensils in the drawer directly next to your stove where you'll actually use them.
A location.
Finally, make an intentional decision about how many of each to keep. Generally, you only truly need one of many common tools like a whisk, a soup ladle, a can opener, or a pizza cutter.
Just one whisk, okay.
2 rubber spatulas and 2 wooden spoons are usually sufficient for most cooking needs. For larger serving spoons or specialized knives, perhaps 3. And for silverware, a good guideline is 1 to 2 sets per person in your household, depending on how often you run your dishwasher.
1 to 2 sets per person.
Select your absolute favorites, the ones that feel good in your hand, perform well, and move the rest to donation or that helpful time will tell bin.
Favorites stay, the rest, maybe.
While having fewer will naturally require you to wash dishes more often, the crucial distinction, again, is that it takes significantly less time per wash because the piles are smaller, less overwhelming, and consequently less likely to lead to procrastination.
Less time per wash. Got it.
If you have seasonal or holiday-specific items, store them in a dedicated location outside the main kitchen if possible to keep your everyday functional space clear.
Keep the everyday stuff handy.
And if your spouse is the primary chef or particularly passionate about their kitchen tools, involve them in the decision-making process. Lead by gentle example rather than forcing, and explain the benefits in terms of ease of use and reduced stress.
Gentle persuasion.
Exactly.
Let's talk about cookbooks and recipes. This is another area where accumulation is driven by so many valid yet potentially overwhelming reasons. A genuine passion for cooking, the pursuit of new diets, deep sentimental value, or even a noble intention to save money by cooking more at home.
Oh yeah, the cookbook mountain.
It's incredibly easy to end up with a mountain of them, far more than you could ever realistically use.
These are indeed perfectly valid reasons, and we all fall into this trap. But the sheer volume can quickly become a significant mental and physical burden. The most effective approach here is to first find all your cookbooks, recipe binders, and loose recipe cards, no matter where they've hidden themselves in your home.
Hunt them down.
Then, consciously sort them into 4 clear, distinct categories. Use regularly, sentimental, time will tell, and info only, which might include things like old coupons, takeout menus, or sports schedules that don't actually require action.
4 categories, okay.
Be firm, yet compassionate with yourself, and agree to let go of any cookbooks or recipe cards you haven't actually used, opened, or referenced in the past year.
The 1-year rule. Tough, but fair.
If you're truly unsure about a specific cookbook, challenge yourself to cook just 1 new meal a week from it for the next month. If that prospect doesn't sound appealing or realistic, if it feels like another chore, it's a clear sign it's time to let it go.
The cooking challenge test.
This process fundamentally helps you move beyond the idea of a fantasy self, who will eventually use all those books and embrace your actual cooking habits.
I buy fantasy chef self.
Once sorted, promptly move the donation and time will tell items. For those truly sentimental cookbooks, decide if they belong in your curated memory box or another thoughtfully designated spot. Finally, choose a feasible, accessible spot for the ones you're genuinely keeping, like a specific cabinet near your meal planning area or a small, accessible shelf.
Give the keepers a good home.
Right.
The pantry. Oh, the pantry. It's often the messy, hidden truth of many homes. So easy to just close the door and completely forget the chaos inside.
Out of sight, out of mind,
Yeah.
until you need something.
But that hidden clutter can also be a significant source of daily stress, wasted food, and even wasted money when you buy duplicates of things you already own.
It absolutely can be. The first and most immediate step for tackling the pantry is always a swift trash and tidy.
Trash and tidy. Start simple.
This means removing any actual trash, expired food, and putting away items that clearly don't belong in the pantry. Then, with a clear mind, thoroughly survey your shelves for anything expired, foods you genuinely dislike, almost empty packages taking up space, and any non-food items that have mysteriously found their way in.
Get rid of the obvious stuff.
The crucial next step is what we call zoning the pantry. Use Post-it notes or simple paper labels to create clear, intuitive sections for distinct categories like canned goods, baking supplies, snacks, breakfast items, and so on.
Zoning. Like a little pantry neighborhood.
Exactly. As you carefully move items into their respective zones, intentionally simplify down to only what comfortably fits in that space. You want to leave a bit of breathing room, space to move things around without a struggle.
Don't cram it full.
Finally, add clear, consistent labels for ultimate clarity, even using pictures for younger children to make it easy for everyone in the household to put things back in their proper place.
Labels are key.
For small pantries, be a vertical space warrior. Utilize every inch of vertical space, including the back of the door with over-the-door organizers, and use clear, stackable containers to consolidate items.
Stack them high.
This helps you visually see your inventory at a glance and powerfully avoids buying duplicates, and that's absolutely key to avoiding wasted food. Our brains, quite simply, can only efficiently remember so much inventory.
Less inventory, less waste.
The less you have, the easier it is to track and use what you own before it expires, saving you money and reducing waste.
That makes perfect sense. Less is truly more, even in the pantry. What about cleaning supplies? It feels like we accumulate so many through endless trial and error, constantly hoping to find that one perfect solution for every surface.
The quest for the magic cleaner.
Leading to an overflowing cabinet under the sink.
This is a critical insight and one that saves so much space and money.
Yeah.
If you genuinely don't like a cleaning product after the first or second use, if it doesn't perform as expected or you simply dislike the scent, you are highly, highly unlikely to use it again.
Be honest about whether you'll actually use it.
So the strategy here is beautifully simple. Sort your cleaning supplies into two clear piles. Use and like versus don't peruse.
Use and like versus nope.
For unwanted, unused products, if possible and practical, try sharing them with neighbors, friends, or local organizations like animal shelters or soup kitchens who might have a use for them.
Offer them up.
If finding a recipient takes too much time or becomes a barrier, it's absolutely okay to safely discard them. As for keeping spares or extra supplies, ideally, store these outside the kitchen, perhaps in a utility closet or garage to keep your daily use cleaning space under the sink, simple, streamlined, and easy to navigate.
Keep the main space clear.
And regarding how many different cleaners to keep on hand, that depends on your available storage space and your willingness to manage that inventory. For most general household needs, core basics like bleach, white vinegar, baking soda, and a good all-purpose citrus cleaner can cover a surprisingly wide range of cleaning tasks.
Stick to the basics.
This allows you to buy other specialized cleaners as you genuinely use them up, rather than stocking up on a dozen different bottles that clutter your space.
Buy as needed, not just in case.
Right.
And finally, for the kitchen, let's talk about kitchen linens, from those mismatched hand towels that seem to multiply, to unused holiday placemats and aprons that have seen better days.
The linen drawer explosion.
They often seem to accumulate endlessly in drawers and cupboards, creating another source of hidden clutter.
They absolutely do. Kitchen linens often accumulate to excess because we have more than we realistically need for daily or weekly rotation. The goal here is to decide on a truly realistic, manageable quantity for your household.
How many towels do you really need?
You can approach this using one of two effective methods. Either decide on a specific numerical quantity you genuinely need to keep, for instance, maybe 10 dish towels, 5 hand towels, or you can define a specific container, like a drawer or a shelf, and commit to only keeping what fits comfortably within those physical boundaries without overflowing.
Count them or contain them.
Always put your favorites, the ones you genuinely enjoy using, in first. This directly addresses the challenge of excess, creating a lighter, more functional linen drawer.
Keep the good ones.
You'll feel lighter, and your entire house will too, when you intentionally let go of the unused, the unloved, and the unnecessary.
Okay, we've walked through the practicalities of a major space like the kitchen, applying so many of these transformative mindset shifts and tools. But it's incredibly important to revisit the bigger picture. Overcoming the challenges, both mental and physical, that decluttering can inevitably present.
Yeah, it's not always smooth sailing.
It's not always a smooth, easy road, is it? There will be moments of resistance, doubt, or sheer fatigue.
No, it's certainly not always easy, and it's important to acknowledge that. But remember, for mental fatigue and decision paralysis, the systematic approach we've discussed is profoundly powerful. Embracing structured topics for decluttering, asking clear, guiding questions that essentially make the decisions for you.
Let the process guide you.
And setting firm time limits like the 5 minutes matters principle. These strategies act as external scaffolding, dramatically reducing cognitive overload and overwhelm.
Right. Take the thinking out of it sometimes.
For those facing physical difficulties or limitations, the absolute key is to break down any task, no matter how large, into single, incredible, manageable steps. If you can only do step 1 today and step 2 next week, that is still undeniable, meaningful progress.
Baby steps are still steps.
It is far better to do a tiny bit consistently than to do nothing at all out of overwhelm. No task is ever truly too big if you commit to going one mindful step at a time, doing as much as makes you comfortable, and then pausing.
One step at a time.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, despite all the strategies, you just genuinely need a little help.
Asking for help is okay.
Many of us hesitate to ask for help, whether it's a fear of rejection or perhaps a concern that the help we do receive won't actually be the help we genuinely need because of miscommunication.
Right.
That's a very real barrier for many.
This is a crucial point, and effective, precise communication is absolutely the solution. When you decide to ask for assistance, be impeccably clear and specific.
Be specific. How?
First, describe the exact type of help you need. Instead of the vague, "Can you help me?" say, "I need help cleaning out trash and old boxes from the storage room," specifically focusing on recycling old papers.
Okay. Detailed request.
This detailed clarity allows the other person to understand the scope of the task and genuinely assess if they can assist. Second, provide a firm time estimate or a fixed duration. "Can you help me on Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock for an hour?"
Time-bound. Very important.
Provides vital clarity and allows them to check their availability and commit without ambiguity. Third, explicitly request any supplies required. "Do you have any extra sturdy boxes you can bring, or perhaps some heavy-duty trash bags?"
Ask for what you need.
This prevents last-minute scrambling and ensures you're both prepared. Understanding the dynamics of support is also absolutely vital for sustained progress and avoiding frustration. There are generally 3 types of people you'll encounter on your decluttering journey.
Okay. Types of support.
First, those who will walk hand in hand with you. These are individuals with the same mindset and motivation who can exchange ideas, share struggles, and truly uplift you. Treasure these individuals. They are your fellow travelers.
Mind your decluttering buddies.
Second, there are those who will come along for the ride. These are wonderful supporters who are willing to help with specific, clear requests and will cheer you on from the sidelines. They might not be on the same journey, but they're happy to lend a hand.
The helpful cheerleaders. Nice.
And finally, there are those who are simply on a different path, what we might call the "I'm over here, where are you" group.
Ah, the ones who don't quite get it.
These are people whose homes and lifestyles are very different from your decluttering goals. The key here is profound acceptance of their journey. You absolutely cannot push your plans, your new mindset, or your decluttered life onto them.
Don't try to convert them.
Exactly. The greatest, most compelling gift you can offer them is to simply lead by authentic example. Let them experience your newfound happiness, your reduced stress, and the tangible feeling of wide-open, functional physical spaces that come from decluttering.
Let them see the benefits.
Let them observe your transformation, and they will decide in their own time if and when they want to get on board. Your path is uniquely yours, and its positive impact will speak for itself.
Lead by example. Powerful advice. #outro. Wow, what a truly profound journey we've taken together today. From recognizing that overwhelming clutter isn't just an annoyance, but a serious mental burden and a very real roadblock to productivity and peace.
Right. It's so much more than just mess.
To embracing minimalism, not as some austere deprivation, but as a powerfully liberating tool. It is fundamentally a pathway to finding genuine happiness, deep fulfillment, and incredible freedom in your daily life.
Freedom is a great word for it.
We've uncovered the compelling science that proves clutter literally drains our mental bandwidth and affects our focus. And we've illuminated how simply treating every item as inventory can completely transform your perspective,
That inventory mindset is huge.
shifting from passive ownership to active, intentional management.
And we've truly seen the immense liberation that comes with practical, game-changing tools like the time will tell bin for those uncertain items, allowing data to make the decision.
Let time decide.
We've also explored the profound joy of curating cherished memories in a dedicated memory box, setting boundaries for sentiment, and always remember that consistent small progress, even just 5 minutes, matters.
5 minutes.
Can build incredible, unstoppable momentum over time. This isn't just about achieving a tidy home. It's about reclaiming vast mental space, significantly reducing anxiety, and powerfully building self-confidence from the ground up.
It's inner work, really.
It truly is. It's about finding the happiness of decluttering, where a clear physical space directly leads to a clear, calm mind, and ultimately, dramatically more room for genuine joy and purposeful living in your life.
The act of decluttering is not just about getting rid of things. It is, at its heart, a profound act of self-care.
Absolutely. Self-care.
It's about honoring your present self, your well-being today, and deeply respecting your future self by intentionally creating an environment that truly, powerfully supports the life you genuinely want to be living.
So consider this provocative thought, this invitation. What is one small 5-minute step you can take today, right now, to start clearing just a tiny piece of the path toward the life you truly desire?
Just 5 minutes.
This isn't about achieving immediate perfection, but about the profound, transformative power of simply beginning.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We truly hope this deep dive inspires you to rediscover the joy, the peace, and the incredible freedom that comes from a decluttered, intentional life.
Until next time, keep diving deep.